Welcome to the Cosmic Cafe Show, where the paranormal is normal. My name is Eric Brown, and I'll be your host and server. And for today's daily special at the cafe, we are brewing up Area 51 cattle mutilations. I'm so excited about this one, let me tell you. When I first heard about cattle mutilations on the now very famous Coast to Coast, which was originally hosted by the great, I will say great, I'm going to suck up to Art Bell. He had guests on his program that would talk about these strange mutilations that were happening to cattle. And they were described with precision, surgical cuts, removal of skins and portions of the cow's body, and things like that. But this was radio, and those were guests of people I didn't know. And you couldn't really see radio. It's kind of hard to see a radio wave. But today, visiting us at the cafe is my good friend Devon Blankenship, who has firsthand seen and taken pictures of cattle which have been mutilated. Now, some of these pictures we'll show later on may be disturbing to younger audiences, and I want to be sure to warn you in advance before showing them. So, are cattle mutilations real? Well, let's ask Devon. Devon, welcome to the cafe.
Hi,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you showing up.
It's an honor.
I know you're a little bit nervous, so don't worry. We only have a few million people possibly watching.
Great.
So, but so you were out there. I mean, what got you out into the whole area? I mean, obviously, you know, were you just driving along one day, or what was going on?
No, actually, I was going to my father's celebration of his life in Colorado, and I decided that since that was going to be a little bit sad in my life, I thought that I might want to treat myself. I like to treat myself by taking myself out to various places in the country, and I like to take pictures, and I like to go to weird places and different places, and I always wanted to go to Area 51.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up there.
I've wanted to go to Area 51 also, and I've kind of driven near, but I've never actually taken the initiative to go out close to Area 51.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a little afraid, I don't know, but I definitely respect you for going out there. So you saw something out there.
I did, and I went out there. I take most of my trips alone. And
were you alone this time?
I was alone this time because I was going to my father's celebration of his life in Colorado, where I'm from, and I made the decision to go out to Area 51, and I drove out there during the evening, during the night, and I lost all media coverage. I mean, I couldn't call out. It was pitch dark. It was pitch black out there. I felt like it was very, very closed in. As I was driving, I was just driving on through the black night, and I looked to my side, to my left side, straight out in the distance.
Yeah.
It looked like, and it was at nighttime, and it looked to me like it was like the Big Dipper. And it kept morphing, it kept stretching out and going back as the Big Dipper. And I'd do a double take, and when because I'd see it brighten up, it would get real bright. A bunch of lights would come on in back of those lights, the Big Dipper lights.
Okay.
So it would get bright, and I'd do a double take, and it would dim out as soon as I do a double take on it. And it paced me for about 2 hours.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I got to the Little Alien Inn.
The Little Alien.
Yes, and
that's in Rachel, Nevada?
That's in Rachel, Nevada.
Rachel, Nevada,
and that's 100 miles, no gas station. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And and when I was driving there, I saw the Big Dipper, and it kept morphing. But I felt so closed in, and you felt kind of an eerie. It was just an eerie, closed-in feeling, and it was just you just drove on. You were afraid. I kept on slowing down, but because I know that there's a lot of military out there, and I've heard of camo dudes and all that kind of stuff, I did not want to physically fully stop.
Right.
So I'd slow
yeah,
down to look at this, this UFO that was, you know, morphing. And then I finally got to the little alien inn,
Right.
and it was very, very late at night, pitch black, and I, you know, I stayed in my little trailer, and then upon rising the next day, and I was afraid to go outside because it was pitch black, and I don't know what, when I go out hiking, I need to know what the terrain looks like during the day in order to feel comfortable, right? So what I did is the next day, then there's breakfast.
Okay.
And so I go into the cafe and I speak to the owner, who I believe her name is Pat, and she and her late husband were, this is kind of interesting, they're the 10th owners of the little alien inn, but the only successful ones.
Oh,
isn't that something?
That
and
is great.
yeah, and while she was and she made pancakes for me, the best, incidentally, the best. The best in Rachel, Nevada.
Now, were they
the
like
best
the pancakes? Were they like
fluffiest,
little alien
no,
shaped?
They weren't. But
Instead of round, they
yeah,
could be
they
like
should
little
have been
alien
little
shaped.
saucer shaped or something, huh?
Well, that's what they were. They were saucer shaped, not an alien head shaped.
So, you know, I just thought that I'd, you know, have a little bit of conversation with her and ask her a couple questions, and she did divulge to me that she was the only successful owner, her and her late husband, and out of 10. And also I asked her if she had seen ETs or aliens, you know, have you seen
well, that would be a natural
aliens,
question.
UFOs? Yes. She said, have I seen them?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I prove it? No.
Right, sure.
So anyway, that being said, that was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
A conversation, and I wanted to go back, and it's just a wonderful place to go back. And
did she talk to you at all about any cattle mutilations in the area? Or
she
other
didn't,
things,
because I didn't even know to ask that, because I hadn't taken the pictures yet. Because see, the cattle mutilations came upon leaving that
she
morning.
Didn't prompt you or anything like that? It didn't plant
She
a
did
seed
not.
or tell you, hey, go
She
over?
did not.
Okay.
She did not, but she indicated to me that she felt that ET is allowing her to be successful.
Okay, okay.
As an owner.
Right,
right.
right.
So I don't know what relationship. I mean, they must have some sort of a relationship, some sort of an agreement of some sort.
Right.
And ET must be all right with her being there.
Yeah.
And military as well.
Right, right.
Because I think that there are a fair share of people that hang out in that, in the little alien inn, in the cafe portion of it.
Right.
You know, but now, upon leaving, that was when I understood why I felt so so closed in, that and so it was so pitch dark.
Yeah.
And upon leaving, not I would say not even an hour.
Okay.
No way. It was an hour. I mean, it was right down the road. It was right there.
Okay.
You could basically see the hotel or little alien from where those cattle mutilations were.
So you had breakfast, you chatted with her, you
Chatted.
packed up, you checked out, and then you just go down, not too far down the...
Checked out at around 11 a.m. It was light outside, and then that's when I saw these cattle that were just basically laid out. It looked like they were laid out on the road, as if to say, don't stop here.
Now, were there live cattle around in the area?
Can't stop here.
Or were there just...
none.
So, but you found...
None.
So maybe we should bring up one, is it time now? Should we bring up one of the, I wanted to make sure I give the audience a chance. If there's any kids in the room, we're going to show one of these slides here momentarily. So you may or may not want them to see it. So you may not want to see it yourself, but if you do, we're giving you a little bit of time to go ahead and situate yourselves. And then, so here momentarily, we'll bring that up. But it's, so that's what, so you got on the road, you're going, and you see these dead cows laying on the side of the road.
I saw these dead cattle, and another thing
I think we got slide. We'll bring up slide number 1 now.
Right, and another thing that I will mention, that all the vehicles that were in the area at the time were white. They were all white. Every single one of them were white.
So you think there was an investigation by our government? So did they
I think that they were pacing me. I think that they were watching me. Most definitely, they were pacing me during the night when I came in.
So we got the first picture, and that shows the cow from one perspective, and that's the I guess towards the bottom of the screen there would be the teeth or the jaw bone where it would be, but the skin's been like surgically cut away. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It looks to me like, now I don't claim to be a Linda Moulton Howe, and I did not know that I was going to be taking pictures of mutilations. I had no clue, but I just take pictures.
Right.
But sure. I did notice that this is a definite mutilation. I've run these photos by a couple of different experts, and the interesting things about these photos is that the genitals have been removed, the horns have been removed, the eyeballs have been removed, the lips have been removed, the tongue has been removed.
Now, when you say removed, are you saying like an animal came in and just ate them?
No, because it does not know, because
clearly surgical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's obvious.
That's what's so exciting for me, is that you personally witnessed this. I know you, and so it's like you telling me that you witnessed this and seeing the photos that you took with your own. That was your camera phone?
This is my camera.
Yeah.
This is my little camera.
So it's not like you set it up or staged it, and you're not a professional photographer, so you didn't get every, but this is clearly what you came across, and you can see it, and you personally attest that it looked, to your eye at least, it definitely looked like it was cut out. And I mean, from those straight edges that you can see there on the image, it's pretty clear that, it's not an animal that just ripped some skin off.
Yeah, I mean, as I looked closer and into the mouth portion, I mean, it did look like the tongue was removed, and the ears, when you enlarge that, picture, that you can see that ear and the horns have just been surgically removed. There's just no, and there was also something else that was kind of interesting. It was white, a lot of white. It looked like almost like toothpaste or something like that was dripped down on the carcass of the mutilation itself, of the cat.
Wow.
Yeah, the mutilation on the carcass, and at different areas, and it didn't look like it was from a bird or anything like that, but it was like long, like chalky lines were dripped over that car. I don't know what it was. Next time when I go back, I'm going to take samples.
If you come across
literally take samples. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm,
but you kind of feel like you were guided towards this, isn't that what you were kind of telling me?
Well, I was just kind of.
It was like you kind of felt like a spirit energy or an alien energy was pulling you towards that area to go there to do that, to visit.
Well, kind of be, I think that it was just, I saw it and I thought, ooh, this is interesting.
Of course,
maybe, I mean, this is sad, but this is interesting, and I was looking at it, and it looked like a healthy steer.
Right.
At one point, I mean, I looked at its hoofs.
We have another angle of the picture,
yeah,
too.
I had
slide number 2. We'll bring up slide number 2 for our audience to,
and
just momentarily, we want to make sure that if there is somebody that just walked in that doesn't want to see it, make sure you leave the room for a minute or two, because we're going to bring up another slide number 2. So
right, because this steer looked like it was a very healthy steer at one point.
Okay,
so
we got slide 2 up now.
Right,
so
right.
So you can see from the side, it's from the side instead of from straight on from the head, and you can also see Devon standing there taking the picture.
Yeah, you can see my
your silhouette.
My silhouette, yes. Or my shadow.
And you can see a bit of the highway there clearly too.
That was That was my verification of me being there.
There, absolutely. And your shadow is a dead ringer for you.
You think? I know, huh?
But all kidding aside, I mean, this is serious. And, you know, somebody out there, I mean, it occurred to me that somebody out there may be thinking, well, maybe it was a big truck that hit it in the middle of the night and ripped some of it off from the sharp fender or something. I mean,
well, that's a very good point. However, and that could have possibly happened too, because I felt that these carcasses were set out there. They were set out there purposely, almost as if. And there was another steer with full set of horns that was further down the road, closer to Caliente, much closer to Caliente. But this was right by the little alien. But, you know, I was being followed and passed and followed and passed because I would pull over and take pictures, pull over, take pictures, pull over, take pictures. But Nev Dot came by, and that's Nevada Department of Transportation. But that was also a white truck. And they were taking a cattle mutilation, they were taking a cattle crossing sign away and onto their truck.
Oh, they're taking it away?
Yes.
Well,
that had, it looked like it had literally been bent over on its side, literally on its side. But it was off the road. That sign was off of the road.
So either
and it was clearly planted in the ground. I mean, it was in the ground. I mean, that was a metal sign, but it was down. It was bent perfectly. So my thoughts about that was that was a low-flying craft, came in, took the sign down.
Oh, and then dropped the cow mutilated bodies to...
That's a possibility. I mean, anything's a possibility.
Yeah.
But I know that sign, but I noticed that those Nev Dot gentlemen there were two of them, and they were driving the Nev Dot truck, but I clearly feel that some of the people that I dealt with along the way were not people.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're not people. I felt that they were watching me because they kept passing me, and like I said, I kept pulling over, taking pictures, you know, different pictures and of different things, and they'd pass me, and then, you know, and then I'd pass them, and then finally I let them go on, and they disappeared in some sort of, when I drove in.
Well, that's not easy in Nevada because you have a lot of long straight highways.
Okay, like, you know, those...
You can't just disappear easily unless there's something interesting going on.
Well, what I saw was, like, I saw a lot of, like airplane hangar, like the metal, those metal things.
Oh, that's
those
right.
Big old...
Yeah.
With big tubes going into the ground.
So it's probably going into Area 51.
Yes, big tubes.
Yeah,
so this
that would
was
make sense. So
Area 51. They were into big tubes.
Okay.
Big, I'm talking truck-sized tubes going into the ground.
That are from the highway?
Okay, so there's a hangar, right? There's a hangar that's it's off the highway. There's a hangar, and it looks like it's in the sand, embedded in the sand. It's huge. It's huge.
Okay.
It's as big as this, you know, as big as this studio.
Right.
It's huge. And then it's got 3 huge tubes, like tunnels, going down into Area 50, going down into Area 51.
I really got to get over there and do a road trip.
Well, yeah, because I think that Area 51 is supposed to be big.
I've always feared going over there, so I got to go over there. I've always feared driving that section of the highway, so maybe it's time for me to overcome my fear.
Yeah, don't fear it, but I will say that there was a lady that did stop. I don't know whether, but she was also in a white vehicle. And to tell you the truth, you know what? Out in Area 51, we'll say it's not a healthy place to be. It's not healthy. It wouldn't
spiritually not healthy.
Spiritually,
or just energy
I would.
Not healthy,
you know, it's just a lot of. They did a lot of testing, and there's a lot of what do you call it, toxic.
Yeah, right,
toxic
sure.
stuff out there.
Yeah.
And so for someone to not look disheveled, like this lady, this gal stopped in an SUV. It was white, and she stopped while I was taking a photograph of something entirely different, just a little flower, you know, a desert flower, and she noticed that I had been taking, you know, I think that she had passed me by a couple of times too, but she stopped and noticed that I was taking pictures, and just the way she looked perfect. I mean, she looked.
Do you think she was a hybrid? Do you think she was a hybrid?
I don't think she was. I felt like, okay, she stopped in her vehicle, and I'm outside the road, and she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." You know, she said, "Are you sure you're okay? You sure you're okay?"
I'm getting goosebumps. Just
Okay, so
look at those
I said,
goosebumps.
"Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you."
Wow.
But she was beautiful, and she was perfect. I mean, there was not a hair out of place on her head. Okay, so, but what I felt after that conversation was like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" And when I said yes, she said, I mean, I felt like she was saying like, well, because, you know, if you come into my car, I'm going to show you what I look like from the waist down. And I'm not human from the waist down.
That's what she said to you?
No, that's how I felt.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
and I just felt, you know, I felt that she wasn't human. I just felt that.
Okay.
You know, I felt, but the gentleman, now the Nevada DOT truck, or the DOT truck, they disappeared. They were, you know, passing me, you know, we were passing each other and along the road, but they disappeared in one of those tubes.
Wow. So do you think this lady disappeared into one of those tubes also?
I don't know what she was doing out there. I think she may have been military, but there's no way. I mean, who lives out there? Nobody lives out there.
Right.
Except for what, Glenn Campbell? I think Glenn Campbell lives out there. But, you know, there's very few people that live out there.
Right.
You know, because of the conditions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not a positive, it's not a healthy environment.
Well, it's
just
certainly no nice beach environment or something, or nice bay environment like what we have here in the San Francisco Bay Area.
I mean, a lot of the workers there, they get cancer, they die.
Yeah.
And then there's no,
yeah.
I mean, that's just well known.
So you were talking about feeling like you were being followed, and
I was
of course
being
with the cars, but you also mentioned to me that and you brought some pictures. You believe that you were definitely being followed by a UFO or some sort of alien type craft, right?
Or I was being paced during the night.
You were being paced during the night, and I think you got some pictures as well. Let's bring up slide number 21.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead, and that one you can pretty clearly see there is definitely some sort of a UFO-like object on it, and that's that one there. And then the zoom in of it is slide number 8.
Right, and then slide number 7, you know, the interesting things about these is that there are, on slide number 7, there's the UFO, which I would call the flying monks, because that's what they look like to me. They look like monks in robes. They look like little ball-headed monks.
Now, are they small like a ball-headed monk, or are these things massive like?
These were massive, and I didn't even realize that I was taking a picture of these. This was in the same vicinity. This is 229 kilometers, which is 130 miles away from Area 51. This is in Bishop, California, and
these are gorgeous pictures, by the way.
They are, and I'm thinking that I'm taking pictures of clouds that are sliding back and forth upon one another.
Yeah.
But then when I get home 24 hours later, I find that, there's more in these pictures than I thought. I didn't realize that I didn't realize that there were UFOs in that picture.
Now, did you stop your car when you took these pictures?
I stopped my car. I was outside of my car.
You were outside your car, because that would be a natural question people would ask is, well, maybe it was just a dead bug on the windshield.
And that's a very, very good question, too, because, and I got many, well, maybe it was just your camera, Well, that's very interesting. Maybe it was just my camera. However, my associate that I went with, who will...
oh, this is a separate trip.
My associate...
These UFO pictures are from a separate trip?
2 separate trips.
Okay, I wanted to make, I got that a little confused. So
2 separate trips,
sorry. 2 separate trips, okay.
2 separate trips.
Okay, so this is 2 separate, so these pictures that end up
this is from Bishop.
Right, okay, gotcha.
From June of 2014.
Okay.
And then the mutilations are from September 2015.
Okay, so the mutilations were September 2015. Okay, I got a little backwards in my mind, but that's okay.
Sorry
that's okay.
about that.
But when you mentioned that, I figured we got to let the audience know. And now we're actually getting really close to the end. We only have 2 minutes left. So, I think you had another one here that you wanted to point out.
You know,
also.
the thing is that there's light. There's a light structure that goes on. There's a bunch of lights that are above the UFO in one photograph, and then they're below the UFO in another photograph. And the UFO, when I say refer to the UFO, I just refer to it as the flying monk, because I don't know what else to call him. Well, that's what he looks like to me.
UFO stands for unidentified flying object, right. So we don't know what it is. That's
right.
why.
Right. So, but in each one of these photos, there's something following those, and there's something dripping out of the clouds in another.
I think I should ask you, did you have a website or a book or anything that you're promoting for this, or is it just Devon and her photos and we're friends and you decided to come on the show?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm gathering photographic evidence,
right.
And I fully intend to write a book.
Yeah.
Because anybody that has any kind of an experience whatsoever would be plainly not being fair to disclosure by not coming forth.
I felt it was important people knew that you weren't just trying to sell a book or something.
No, I'm not trying to sell a book. However, I will have a book.
You will have a book eventually,
yes. And I will give it to you.
I
will not sell it to you.
I appreciate that. Well, Devon, we are pretty much out of time. I need to thank you much for coming on the show. Appreciate it so much.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for tuning in to the Cosmic Cafe. Hopefully you've enjoyed our little visit with Devon, and hopefully you'll get her book someday when she gets it. I know she also has a Facebook page, and I'll make sure I post that information and links to her information on the website so you can check it out more. But thank you again for, I should give my website, cosmiccafeshow.com, cosmiccafeshow.com. And I'd also just like to thank the TV stations that are carrying this program. Thank you so much for carrying this program. And please volunteer with your local public access station. If you need to find a public access station in your area, go to our website, and the stations link will have all the stations that are currently carrying it, as well as links to the directory nationwide, so you can have your station carry our show as well. It's free to them. So thank you so much. Look us up on social media, Cosmic Cafe Show, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.